And they're off. It is Thursday, climbing towards week's end. How you doing, son?
I'm living the dream. It's 7:58. We go live for another Nudelberg Daily Huddle. Had a fantastic day yesterday. Shout out to Joy Linsky and Jacqueline Morris for just a great visit at Sith & Co. It was their first time there, so got to introduce them to the great coffee shop and just steady at it in the month of January.
I did have a question.
Yes.
I don't get invited to Sith ever. Like, what's
You
going
have
on?
your coffee shop. What do you mean? Like, I see you every day. If you want to go to Sith, you can go to Sith.
It's very nice, man. Very, very cool. Yesterday for me was like one of those, like Monday, a bunch of people canceled. They had all of this, craziness going on with, celebrating the holiday and kids were home and whatever. And so yesterday was packed for me. And I like that, man. Bang. All day long we were, getting to it. Still completely amazed by Bill Bondbreast. We worked with him and his team in the afternoon, and he's in it. I mean, he's in it. He told stories about how he used to cold call and how fast we got him to somebody that was in the LVMH world, which is Louis Vuitton and it's all high brands. And I said, throw out anybody you want to prospect, and I'll do it, and I'll show you the magic. And wouldn't you know, we are 1 degree away from the executive assistant to the whole floor. And so there were 15 connections. Who was one of those connections? Mr. Jim Barrett.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
I can do that, man. So good morning, Troy. Troy is with San Bernardo Ice Cream, the makers of No Bull. No Bull, man. We love blueberry.
I love that.
Our favorite ice cream. Welcome aboard. Good to see you. So lots of fun stuff going on today. Today is Dan Nelson's birthday. So I say we give Dan he's a huddler from way back. Let's give him some music, like happy birthday music.
Let's go.
Happy birthday to you. Oh, do we want to celebrate? It's your birthday, your birthday. And this is a song that we dedicate.
Happy birthday. This is for you.
To you, Mr. Dan Nelson. Happy birthday.
Man, I know you know how to celebrate the wins. And so another day on earth for you. You got it, man.
Dorcas, we missed you too. Thanks for being here this morning. Glad to have you back.
Here's what I'm suggesting. Dorcas has to use FedEx and get us a breakfast. She needs to cater the huddle one time, So you talk about huddler in the height seat
that would be cool.
She's got to be catering.
Eat some breakfast on the huddle from Dorcas. That would be a cool.
We got a great show. We got great headlines. The headlines always give us great topics to talk about. Some crazy shit going on in the world. Shay, wake us up.
Wake up, everybody. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, come on. Wake up, everybody. Teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen what you have to say. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more about to thinking, time of thinking ahead. Come on.
All right. We are on the air. We are live. We are ready to roll. Just some housekeeping. Tomorrow is another edition of Huddler in the Hot Seat. We have Mr. Scott McGregor joining us. And for anybody who's a regular, I'm talking to all of you, Coach Mike, Leslie Gusky, anybody, get on the list. The list is filling up. I know Dave Stavali's on the list. I know
we have an opening for next Friday. So.
We do. Well, I'm going to pick somebody for sure. So if they
don't
do
it, on the list already. She will kick off February for us.
I think Laura Kudzneski needs to jump into that next week's, get a female perspective, She's get on the ball. She's on the ball. She's all of the stuff.
Lori's got a great story. I know she's told her story before. She came in hot one day. She just out of nowhere joined the huddle on a whim. But her story is great. You know, the peanut brittle and how she's helped her
meatballs, baby,
meatballs. And the meatballs. Yeah, it's great stuff.
So Shay, let's jump in to Huddle headlines. All right, I love that music. So lots of crazy stuff going on. Yesterday, the world's oldest woman passed away. Does anybody know? Well, okay. There's the
Sister
headline.
Andre.
Sister Andre.
118 years old. That is unbelievable.
Can you imagine 118? You know, it's just fascinating to me to think of what that woman has seen in her lifetime.
Shay, throw that back up. She had lived through both world wars, right? 2 world wars, 1918, the flu pandemic, survived COVID, and was said to enjoy a daily dose of wine and chocolate. So I would, missed opportunity to be able to get some of her secrets on how she made it to 118. But if she was a nun, you can bet your ass that one of the things that got her to 118 was a daily discipline. Daily discipline, and obviously a focus on God, but her daily discipline was that, her commitment to praying and her commitment to taking care of herself spiritually every day. I love that.
So for me, success leaves clues. I'm with you, man. Wine and chocolate till she's 118. Oh yeah,
daily dose. I like it.
Okay, number 2 headline. For all you people who are caught up in this, oh, it's a recession and I'm going to be careful and it's risky and it's uncertain. We go back to it's never certain, okay? But the CEOs just got tested, 313 got quizzed January 10th. And this is what they said. Business conditions for the 12 months from now will improve. There's optimism. And I think optimism is, nothing better.
Absolutely. I mean, when you look at that chart of the forecast of business conditions for what they were, and in January of 22, it was a 7.0. And then we ended the year coming back close to that 7. And you see the rise and the climb for what people are expecting. I think it's great. You can pay attention to the headlines of Microsoft laying off 10,000 employees. The reality of that is it's not necessarily an indication of what's coming. It's more of an indication of what happened, right? I think when you look at a lot of technology companies, they overhired very, very, aggressively during that time. And now they're coming back to a reality and going, okay, we've got way too much overhead. We've got way too much people capital for what needs to be done. And there's a balancing that's coming back.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. I think Les hit it on the spot, man. The nun had some serious DMOs going on.
No doubt. I would love to see her list of DMOs.
Incredible, incredible. So sticking with this theme of, this good news, for those of you who have never been to an In-N-Out, my condolences to you, because it is earth-shattering.
Religious experience coming off of the nun.
Unbelievable. And so give me the headline. After 75 years, they made a controversial announcement, and that is they are coming east. They will open up a location in Franklin, Tennessee.
So they put a headquarters in Tennessee, and now they're going to start populating the state of Tennessee, which, I mean, nothing against the state of Tennessee, but I'd love to know, of all the places you're going to go open on the East Coast or on the east side of the United States, how did they land in Tennessee as the final decision? The first place to go experiment.
Interesting thing to unpack. But if you read the article, when they made the announcement, they are fiercely opposed to change. It hasn't had a menu item change since 2018. It's
and the only change to that was
here. This is a lesson here. Here's what we do. We do it better than anybody. That's it. We're not serving you breakfast. We're not serving you chicken. Here's what we do, man. We
Yeah.
do it great. And it's all not frozen, so it's fascinating. But here's another takeaway from that I really love. First of all, they have a female president, CEO. Love that. So there's more and more people occupying that seat. And she said, if you put us in every state, it takes away the luster. Like, I love going to Vegas. One of the things in Vegas is they're open 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to California or any of the neighboring states to California, you have the opportunity to get into an In-N-Out, which creates exclusivity, which creates novelty, which creates, it's not McDonald's, which you can get absolutely everywhere. And
around the corner from each other,
But so I think what Chick-fil-A has been able to do is keep some of that exclusivity by staying closed on Sundays. And I think if you stay selective, and you can be everywhere, but you got to choose how you're going to be everywhere, which I think, as they continue to scale, I would imagine they'll be successful, because if I had the option.
Here's what they say. The interesting lesson here is that there is a balance between exclusivity and meeting your customer needs.
Right.
For me, I instantly thought about the virtual platform. We are meeting our customers where they want to be.
Yep.
We're staying exclusive to the one-on-one coaching. We're not abandoning that. That is the core of our business, and we do it well. But we are offering something to meet our customers where they are. So maybe we can do a deal with In-N-Out and have some special distribution.
I would love that.
All right, more in the news. Shay, show me the rising cost of eggs.
Egg prices have soared 60% in a year.
Demand for eggs has risen. Production in the U.S. has slumped. Do you know why?
Why? Well, I know that people are using eggs as a protein substitute. So there are people who eat less meat or less chicken. So I know the demand for eggs went up because people were using that as their protein source. Why chickens are producing less eggs or struggling to keep up with the demand, I have no idea.
I'm going to tell you. You did not know this. This is why you want to come to the Huddle. There's an ongoing bird flu.
Look at Jonathan Ahrens.
Killed nearly 58 million chickens.
Jonathan Ahrens knew about the bird flu.
So for those of you who watch Yellowstone, there was a disease that affected the herd. When the herd is affected, they all got to go. So there was a lot of birds that were destroyed.
Shout out to the huddlers paying attention to the news. Jonathan Ahrens, Melissa Graves, Lubako, all knew that bird flu was the answer to that question of why their chicken supply was not able to match demand.
Now, in the article, which is why I love doing all this research, because I'm just diving every day, doing what James Clear talks about, being the hawk and pulling this stuff out. There's some people talking about building a coop in their backyard and chickens lay eggs in their house, man. I'm like, what?
Right.
So
I don't know if you have like a brand loyalty to any kind of eggs. Some people say, buy local, buy from the farmer's market, whatever. I buy the Vital Farms, the pasture raised Vital Farms eggs. Those are the ones we always need, or those are the ones we always want. And those are usually in very high demand. So I never pass on the opportunity to grab a dozen eggs, because I know if they're in stock, I got to grab them while they're in stock, because they might not always be.
We eat eggs regularly. We eat egg whites. So it's a big part of our diet. But in the, going with you got to try everything. Here's today's motivational music from a movie in 2016. Incredible. First time I heard it.
I messed up tonight. I lost another fight. I still myself, but I'll just start again. I keep falling down. I keep on hitting the ground, but I always get up now to see what's next. Birds don't just fly, they fall down.
I don't know about you. First of all, the music's great. Shakira's
Was that from
amazing.
Sing? What was that from? What movie is that?
The movie Zootopia, like
Oh,
from
nice.
2016, an animated movie. I'm like, I never even saw that, heard of it. But there was I love listening to the words. Birds fly, they fall down, they get up. Nobody learns anything without getting it wrong. The words in that song are just so powerful. Get up and try everything. See what works for you. So clearly I was high on all of the
I love it. Great words, great motivation. I love it. Music moves, baby. I love that.
So going along the line of motivation and food and all of this stuff, do you know what the 70-20 rule is? Sorry,
70.
sorry, I got that wrong. Hang on one second. The 72-104 rule.
I do know what that rule is.
Okay, what is it?
That is the ounces of water that you should consume based on your gender.
Drop the mic, man. Tell me more. Then tell me more.
How do you think I wrote the meal plan for you? Like, I did my research, I've come like so. I think there was a study that was about longevity of life, and one of the things that significantly decreases the risk for heart disease and diabetes and all of the things that are like major killers also helps extend your life, and the life expectancy is your hydration level. Because the more something about the sodium levels in your body, that the higher the sodium levels are in your body, the more likely you are to increase disease. So
people with extremely high levels of serum sodium, which you get from being dehydrated, had a 50% higher risk of being biologically older and 21% higher risk of dying early.
That's what it is. It ages you faster. The higher the sodium levels in your body, the faster you age internally, as opposed to what your actual chronological age is.
So, they said, it's hard to, count things and metrics. Oh, yeah? 32 ounces. 3 of them plus my 16 in the morning. It's pretty fucking simple if you ask me, man. I don't know. So I do feel the difference being hydrated. I do. There's just some, whether it's mental, placebo, whatever.
It's not placebo. It helps you sleep better. It helps you have better clarity. It helps you feel better. It helps your joint function. So I think like the recommended, and Paula put it in there, is half your body weight in ounces. And that's like if you're like not active. So for me, like I say, I got to get a minimum of 100 ounces of water in a day, which would be more than half my body weight. And I'm shooting to get to 120. I have a 32-ounce bottle. So if I can hit that 4 times a day, which I usually have 1 done before 8 o'clock, I try to have 2 done before noon. And so I can usually get to 4 by the time I go to bed. But that's the goal, and I think, that the water and protein intake for me are things that I've always been aware of, but I really didn't understand the impact of what it does and how it changes the way you feel.
Apologize. Moron. He's going to tell me that tequila is, has a water base.
Right.
Getting my water through tequila. So I love that. And I love that's part of the new diet or, meal plan that I'm on is drinking this water. And I really don't think it's that hard. I drink a 16-ounce when I wake up. It's the first thing I do, hydrate before anything else. And then 3 of these bad boys. And, I've been doing it. The only problem is I can't be away from a bathroom for more than 30 minutes.
It does require you to have access to a bathroom. But Joanne says, Kiss, keep it simple. That to me is the like I set a goal for myself through my diet, and it was the 3 very simple pillars to the diet. Drink over 100 ounces of water, get over 150 grams of protein, and don't have any kind of processed carbs, whether that be bread or pasta, outside of workout windows. So for me, those are the three guidelines that are my non-negotiables when it comes to the diet, and it's working. I've lost 5 pounds in 6 weeks. My body fat percentage has come down 2%. My muscle index has gone up. So it's working.
I think that's been the big change for me is that, You know, like I was on a coaching call yesterday with Nancy Stelway. First thing she said, she goes, wow, your face got thin. You know, I'm not eating all the garbage. I'm not holding all that sodium. I'm cleaning and flushing. And so great stuff. Two more headlines that I think are relevant. Number one is Tesla has a problem bigger than Elon Musk. Mark, do you know what the problem is?
I'm their problem.
What's the problem?
I went from a 2-car household to a 1-car household.
Incredible.
I am the problem.
So you are the problem. Younger people have decided it's not so cool to own a car. You know, they don't need to own a car. They've used sharing. They've used obviously Uber and Lyft. They've used public
Ride shares.
Yeah.
The coffee shop is walking distance for me. So at worst, I could walk to where I needed to get to. I can always Uber, you know. So now Gabby and I share a vehicle just because it's we tested it. We were like, do we really need the second car? And so now we've been operating without the second car for, I don't know, 5 months now, and we don't need it. So, like, you know, that's a problem for vehicle manufacturers as a whole, is the further away we get from it being something that you have to do, like buy a house, buy a car before, you know, the staple of being an adult, farther away from that we get.
How about this stat? 25% of Gen Yers, which I think is Jake's group, do not have a driver's license. And 30% of 19-year-olds are not licensed to drive. Like, for me, like
I have no idea what it would be like to be like 14 and growing up with Uber and knowing that you could just get a ride anywhere you needed to go, whenever you needed to go. Like, I was landlocked as a kid. If I didn't have my parents to get me to where I needed to go and I couldn't ride my bike there, I was stuck. And so now to be a young teenager and be able to get around so easily changes your mindset on needing a license and needing a car and the freedom that comes along with that. So the changing of the times.
Now, I don't drive all that much, but when I do, I like to drive a nice car. But my generation ain't changing so fast. So
yeah, you're their fucking target market.
Keep on giving me what I want. Pay through the ass to get it. You know,
I love
ridiculous. It's actually ridiculous. The price of housing and automobiles, and you talk to people who live in metro areas, and they're like, "I'm not buying shit, and I'm not getting a car for sure." So crazy headlines. Great conversation as always. Thanks for the audience participation. Do not miss tomorrow. Bring your friends. Tell them to tune in tomorrow, because McGregor's one of those guys you definitely want to spend the morning with.
Let's go. Let's get down to business.
Please don't worry about me. I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business.